How's it going, y'all? Close the door to my stew. How's it? Slow Burn episode 3. This is my first solo episode. Yeah, this should be pretty fun. I got some dabs. I got quite a few topic suggestions from y'all out there, you lovely viewers and supporters. I appreciate every single one of you guys that watches this podcast, shares it with your friends, likes it, subscribes to the channel, all the above. I really appreciate it. I'm just doing this for fun. Hopefully one day my goal with this is to make enough money off it to where it will support itself. Like, I don't have to buy new equipment. Like, I can just use money from... I'm not trying to get rich off this, is basically what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm just doing this for fun. I hope everyone's having a good day. Let's see. What was the first thing? Well, I'm going to take this dab, and we're going to talk about... This is a great topic suggestion that I got today. How to get out of a shitty situation that you're in. Like, mentally. If you get fucked over, if life throws you a fucking, a lemon, how to turn that into lemonade, basically. It can be tough, and, there's been times where bad stuff has happened to me, bad shit's happened to me, and, I wanted to quit, wanted to give up. I didn't want to fight through it, and I felt like I was alone, and I felt like I had nobody to talk to. But those moments, when they come, you just have to realize that you aren't alone, and especially if you're a man, talking about your emotions is actually okay. Because men tend to get shamed for that, and that's ridiculous. Should not get shamed for... don't go around crying like a little bitch. Don't do that. But definitely fucking, airing out your grievances with society and the world and telling people how you feel, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so earlier this year, I don't know if y'all know, but I had a girlfriend for like 9 months, and she lived with me and my family for like 6 of those 9 months. Mistake, moving her in, absolutely, don't do that. But we're gonna get to that. Anyways, obviously, when you live with someone for many months, you get attached, and you feel like the relationship's just gonna last forever, even when shit gets toxic. And I don't know, there's just this, since you guys live together, there's like this feeling of like, well, we can't leave because we live, it's almost like getting married, right? Like, it's way easier to leave somebody when you're not married to them because you can just fucking leave, but the marriage is sort of like the contract that's keeping you guys together. Living together is like that, but to a lesser degree. So everything was going good with her, and, well, good. Everything was going, like we weren't broken up. I'll just put it that way. But the relationship was certainly toxic in a lot of ways, and I'm glad it's over. But this is kind of, after 6 months of living with somebody, you get kind of sick of them too. Just as much as you think, oh, well, this is going to last forever, you're also like, God damn, when she does that, this is fucking annoying, And so over time, like, I feel like we low-key just started like getting animosity towards each other. And there was a couple times where I had found shit like on her phone, like she was texting somebody else, inappropriate shit, or something along those lines, basically acting, unfaithfully. And I would see that, and I confront her about it, and like I would just let it go. You know, I would confront her and I would get pissed, but I wouldn't break up with her because I you know, I was like, well, I love her, so I don't want to break up with her. Like, I'm actually like in this for the long run. I'm trying to like build with this person, so I'm not just gonna break up like at the first sign of something being like hard. And so I didn't break up, and like every time something like that would happen, because something like that happened like probably 6, 7 times throughout our relationship. Every time it happened, same shit. I'd get pissed. She would fucking apologize. We'd have sex, and we'd be okay. It was like a cycle, you know, literally repeating itself. And that is toxic as fuck. That is not a good situation to be in. Because I was letting a lot of shit slide that I don't like more, like it's against my morals, you know. I was letting my morals go for some pussy, you know, which is just, it makes you feel like shit as a man, right? If you know your girl is fucking around, and as a woman too, I'm sure it goes both ways. If you know your partner's fucking around with somebody and you still put up with it, there's a trade-off. You feel like shit on the inside. And so sure, you might still have the person, but now like you don't feel as good about yourself. Like your confidence went down, your self-esteem went down. And so yeah, like I kept letting it happen. And then her ex came out of nowhere like one day and just texted her and was like, hey bitch. And she was like talking shit to him back, whatever. And then he like sent a picture of him fucking her or something and was like, I know you want this shit again. And like, so I thought that picture was from when they used to date because it was her ex, you know. So I called him and I was like, because I was just pissed. So I fucking called him on my phone. I got the number, called him on my phone, and I was like, fucking get the videos of my girlfriend off your fucking phone, because my girlfriend was 18 when she was with me, but at the time when she was with him, she was underage. And this motherfucker was like 24, 25 years old when they were dating. So gross. But anyway, he had fucking pictures of her and he was sending them around. So I was like, yo, like can you please delete the child porn off your fucking phone, you weirdo? Like, who the fuck keeps nudes of their ex? That's so strange. I deleted all mine like the second we broke up. Like, that's common courtesy. Otherwise, that's fucking weird. I mean, there might be some in some place that I haven't checked, but like all the ones that I'm aware of, I got rid of because I don't want to think about that bitch anymore. Like, very simple. Why the fuck would you hold on to nudes? So I called him and I was roasting him and whatever. And he calls me back and we get in this whole thing. And then finally I block his number, I think. And I told my girlfriend, because he fucking harassed her right after he hung up the phone with me. He just fucking blows her phone up. I tell her, just block his number, you know, block it, delete it. So we both blocked his number. And then this motherfucker comes out of the woodwork with a text me number. Like one of those text now apps. He got one of those fucking numbers. Text bombs both of our fucking phones daily with just creepy, weird fucking messages. We'd block that number. He'd make a new fucking number. Then he started to get like threatening, like after those weeks went by, the messages got more and more intense. Then he fucking sent me my address. Like, he said he knew where I lived, sent me a picture of my dad, like was talking hella shit about my family, like sent my girlfriend a picture of like her brother, like on some government website, like he showing that he owed money or some shit, and was like, oh, I'll report him to the IRS, and like was just like getting like psycho, you know. And so I didn't really know what to do. At one point he offered to like meet me in a boxing gym and fight me. And this guy like weighs 160 or 180 pounds, some shit, and I'm like fucking 292. I'm probably like 280 at this point, 280. So I got 100 pounds on the fucking guy, and I know I can, especially now that I've been training, I can fight, you know. and I'm an athlete. I was, I had 19 D1s and fucking coming out of high school. So I was confident that I'd beat this guy the fuck up. But I was like worried that I would beat him up and then he'd pull some shit and fucking like sue me or fucking whatever. Like, I didn't want to deal with any of that fucking pussy ass bullshit that this motherfucker, because he was crazy, clearly an unhinged, like, and calculated, because he fucking found all, like, my address. And so it gets to the point where my girlfriend at the time, my ex now, looked at me, and this is after we went on a date, and we're sitting in the parking lot, and he texts her again, like, on another number, like, some crazy shit. And she looks at me and she goes, babe, like, I'm afraid that one day, like, he's gonna find out where I am, in, like, in a parking lot somewhere, and just, like, rape me. And I was like, okay, babe, like, do you need me to do something about this guy? Because, like, I'm ready to, like, go fucking do something about this fucking guy, because I found out where he lived. Once he found out my address, I put his original number in white pages and found his address and all of his family's names and everything. I was like, if you want to play that game, I'll play that fucking game. And so I knew where he lived, and I was like, I have shooters around, so I was prepared to, like, but then I was like, well, at least I had shooters, not anymore. Then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fucking murder somebody. Like, no, not doing that. So I decided against that, and I was like, babe, like, let's just change your number. Like, if we change your number, then everything's good. And then she, like, refused to do that, and I was like, okay, whatever, fine, we'll just keep blocking his numbers. And this was on a Wednesday, and so then Thursday rolls around, everything's okay. And on this weekend, we're supposed to go to my cabin. Friday rolls around, and, like, she's supposed to be getting ready to go to my cabin. I call her, she won't answer, like, goes straight to voicemail, like she's on the phone with somebody else. I'm like, okay. I text her, hey babe, like, can you answer the phone, please? Can you please answer like, what's up? Like, we gotta make plans. And then she, like, I called her, like, 3 more times in the span of, like, an hour. And then, like, I started to get pissed because I was like, babe, like, can you answer the phone? Like, we need to discuss this shit. It's important. And, like, she wasn't answering, and this is not normal for her. Normally, she's always on her fucking phone. Like, she would text me right back, And so I knew, like, something was weird. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I knew something was, like, weird. But I didn't really think too much of it. And so then I go home after, because I'm at work at this point. I go home, pack up my shit, and then I'm like, okay, babe, do you want me to come pick you up now? And she was like, still not answering her phone, and it's fucking getting late. And finally, like, 10 minutes after that, she calls me back, and she's like, oh, sorry, babe, I was just, like, really busy. Like, my parents had me do a lot of bullshit for them, like, helping them. And her, like, she was African, she was from the Congo, so her parents didn't really speak English, so a lot of the time she'd have to go, like, fill out paperwork for them and, like, do shit for them. So that was a valid excuse to me. I was like, okay. And so then we go to my cabin, and on the way out to the cabin, she goes, oh, babe, I'm going to be out of town next weekend. Like, my parents, there's, like, one of their friends are getting married in Portland, and I have to go down there for, like, a family thing. And keep in mind, like, this bitch's parents, bro, like, did not give a fuck about her, didn't include her in anything. Like, they're the worst parents I've ever seen. Objectively, worst parents I've ever seen. But they didn't, like, ever hang out with their daughter. So for all of a sudden, after 9 months of dating, they wanted to just take her for a weekend. Like, she moved into my house, and they didn't even know or care that their daughter moved out. It was fucking ridiculous and weird. But, yeah, anyway, she tells me, we're going on to Portland for the weekend, so I won't be here. And I'm like, okay. Like, again, seems weird, but I don't think, like, too much of it. I'm not, like, a conspiracy theorist, so I wasn't going nuts. And then, this is on Friday night. We have fun. We were drinking, her and I fuck that night. Everything's normal. We tell each other we love each other, all that. Wake up on Saturday, we fuck again. She tells me she loves me. We tell each other we love each other, just like normal, you know. And then, like, we go to get firewood after we fuck or whatever. Like, me and the family, she stays and watches the dogs. We go get firewood and for like an hour. Go get food, come back, bring her ass fucking burger, of course. And then I lay in bed with her, kind of cuddling with her, and she's like sitting there like she's thinking about something, but like doesn't want to tell me, you know, like she's giving me that look, and I'm like, babe, like, what's up, honey? Like, and she looked at me and she goes, babe, I'm in love with somebody else. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're here. Like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm in love with somebody else. And like, I'm shocked, you know, obviously. And I'm like, okay, who? Like, who the fuck are you in love with? I'm right here. Who? And at first she didn't want to tell me, you know, 'cause she's a little coward. She doesn't want to face up to her actions. And I keep fucking pressing her, and I get more and more pissed. And eventually she fucking tells me, it's him. So this fucking crazy dude, this crazy fucking, like, stalker, fucking weird hebephile motherfucker, like, fucking, I don't know how he did it, but, like, manipulated her ass into, like, loving him again after talking the worst shit I've ever seen someone say about somebody else, is what he said about her. And she was like, I love him. Like, I don't know. When I'm around him, he just makes me feel great. And then she tells me, oh yeah, I cheated on you like at least 5 times with him. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, I feel gutted. Like, literally, like, I love this girl. I was going to propose to her and, like, on my birthday in September. But, like, she ripped my fucking, it felt like literally somebody, like, grabbed my heart and, like, yanked it out of my chest and just fucking left it on the table. And I had to just sit there and just watch it pump, like, as I was just, like, an observer. It was just, the pain I felt from, the emotional pain I felt from that, like, is probably worse than anything I've ever felt in my whole life. Like, and I love my grandma to death, but it's like even worse than like losing my grandma almost, because it's like, there's a sense of betrayal, you know, that whole sense of like, I thought you were on my team and it turns out like you weren't, like, ever, you know, what the fuck, dude. And so, yeah, so then I go, you know, I cry and whatever, I get so fucking angry too. I was so pissed, bro. Like, I was like, I'm gonna go fucking kill that, you know, piece of shit. But, like, I was, like, fucking going nuts, like, too nuts. You know, I probably shouldn't have freaked out like that, but I wasn't expecting my girlfriend to fucking break up with me in the middle of the cabin weekend. Like, the fucking timing was terrible. It was literally on Saturday at fucking 11 a.m. Like, what a selfish bitch. So, yeah, so I was just so fucking pissed, and I was just like, and hurt, and man, and that feeling didn't go away for a while. Like, that first night, because she lived with me, so I kicked her out, like, that day. I was like, grab your shit, get the fuck out. And she did. She grabbed her shit, not all of it, of course, so I had to fucking continue dealing with her ass, unfortunately, but grabbed her shit, got the fuck out, you know, and that's all she wrote until Tuesday. This was on Sunday, you know, because we got back from the cabin on Sunday. Then Monday rolls around, we talk to each other, but it's just like a lot of shit talk, and then finally I'm like, babe, or like, I don't call her babe, but I'm like, honestly, like, Merv, that was like her nickname, I was like, Merv, this shit, like, talking shit to you is not making me feel good. Like, I don't understand, like, the point of this. You already broke up with me. We broke up with each other, basically. Like, we're done. So why why are we trying to make each other feel worse? Like, how is this productive? This is not very mature or adult. And I said that, and then she was like, you know what? It's not making me feel good either. And so then we started talking like normal. And on Tuesday, I was like, do you want to hang out? Do you want to hang out? You know, because I was down bad. And like, I felt like if I could hang out with her again and we could just talk, like, it would make me feel better because then I would understand her perspective at least. Or like, I don't know. I just thought it would help me. And so we'd hang out. And it just felt so, like, sad. But the only thing about it was I could see, like, I looked at her and she looked very, like, remorseful that day. She looked like she felt so bad about hurting me that way. And, like, so that kind of made me feel good, but that was all a front, I think, for that night. Because she wanted me, you know, it was basically like a date. Like, we went to the movies and everything. And so this is when she was with her fucking new boyfriend. Like, they were already together or whatever. And so that night she's like, I'm busy. She's busy with me. And we, whatever, go to the movies. We kiss again. Then we go back to my car, smoke like a shit ton of joints. Like, that's what we used to do, is just smoke. That's all she does is work out and smoke. And her workouts are fucking a joke. They're not even really a workout. So she was honestly a very fucking lame person. Boring as hell. Like, I hope she gets better, but, like, goddamn, she was boring. And anyways, we were at the movies, we kissed, go back to my car, smoke the joints, and then we start telling each other that we love each other still. She looks at me and she's like, I love you. You know, like, deadpan, like, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too, like, because I did at the time still, I did. And then we started kissing again, and then we fuck in the back of my car on Tuesday. And that made me feel like before that, I felt like so shitty. And then when I did that, I was like, okay, that's like at least a 50% boost. I felt better, like, because I felt like now I had control of the situation, like, more. Like, she controlled it before, but now I, in a way, like, the situation is on my terms now, not on hers. And so that made me feel good. Like, but not, you know, I still was hurt from the fact that she wasn't my girl anymore, but that made me feel better. And so after that, we talked for a couple more days, and then she calls me on Thursday. That was on Tuesday. Calls me on Thursday. We were supposed to hang out again. And she goes, oh, well, I'm sorry. Honestly, I don't want to see you anymore. I just want to see him. Like, I just want to see him. And that's that. Like, fuck you. Fuck. And, like, she starts talking hella shit to me again. Like, all her fucking mouth starts going. And then I'm like, really? You want to do that to me right now? I was like, you know I got receipts, right, bitch? You know I got receipts and your boyfriend's number, like, if you really want to play this fucking game. Because, like, I wasn't going to tell her boyfriend, obviously, because I didn't want to blow up my spot. Like, I was like, I can still get some puss on the side. Like, that'd be nice, you know? Easy pussy. She's clearly a whore. And I was like, she called me and says that, and I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm going to, like, you know what I have, right? Like, and then she was like, yeah, I'm sure. Fuck you. Fuck all that. And then I'm like, okay, you're going to be like that? Fine. And I text her fucking boyfriend. I'm like, yo, I unblock his number. And I text her. I'm like, hey, do you want some tea on your girl? And he's like, tell me. Like, let me know. And I'm like, I fucked her. And he's like, when? Receipts. When? Receipts. You when? And I'm like, receipts. I sent him the movie tickets. And then the fucking nail in the coffin was I remembered one of the texts he sent to her that night, and I sent him that text word for word. It was something like, hey, do you want to hear daddy's voice before you go to bed? Something like that. And so I texted him that, and then he was like, fuck, and then he starts freaking out, and, you know, like a fucking incel, because that's basically what he is. He's scared that he can't get any other fucking pussy, so he has to fucking latch on to some 17-year-old, 18-year-old fucking whore and just keep her. Like, gross, dude. I couldn't imagine. So he freaks out, whatever. And so then he said, I'm done with you. I don't want anything to do with you ever again, to Merv, to my ex. And then she goes, she kind of gets really sad about it because she was like, oh, I loved him. I wanted him. And then, like, for like, that lasted like fucking 20 seconds. And then, like, I call her. I'm like, hey, do you want to, like, talk about it? Do you want to hang out now so we can talk about it, you know? Like, I was still trying to hit, you know? Fucking, I was being completely selfish at that point. So I called her and I was like, do you want to hang out? And she was like, no, I don't. Fuck you. You just ruined my fucking life. Why would I ever want to see you? And then then I hang up. And then I call her like 20 minutes later and I'm like, are you sure you don't want me to come hang out and just come smoke with you? And she's like, okay, come hang out. I want to smoke. So then I go, like, pick her up, whatever, and we talk. And she just starts fucking talking so much shit about this guy. Like, man, his dick ain't even all that anymore, and like his Invisalign makes him look ugly. Like, he looks ugly now, and he looks weird, and I honestly don't even like. He don't even fuck me like that anymore, and like she just starts talking hella shit about him, flaming him to me in the car, just eviscerating him, talking the most shit. And then she was like, "Oh, I gotta get on the dating apps again. I actually have to do this again. Fuck, my life is just fucking." God, it's just changed now. She was like processing the fucked upness of what she did. And then, out of the fucking blue, I see this fucker's face pop up on her phone, calling him. Vlad calls her. And I'm like, don't answer that. Don't fucking answer that. You know he's gonna try to fucking yell at you or do some bullshit. And she was like, okay. And then I needed to hang out with my sister that night. So I was going to hang out with her for longer. But then I was like, you know, I got to go. Sorry, Merv. Like, I could tell she wasn't in the mood to fuck after that whole situation. So I didn't force that issue. And we, obviously, you know, because I'm not that kind of guy. And so I fucking, I left. And as I leave, I see him call her again. And she looks at me with this look of like, I have to answer it. Like, or if I don't, then I'm like, it was such a look of almost desperation and anxiety. It was weird. She fucking answers the phone and just fucking goes up in her apartment. And that's the last I ever saw of her in person. And as far as I know, that idiot is still with her. So you're a fucking cuck, bro, because if you're fucking listening, because I know you're fucking creepy and you like listening to my fucking shit still, even though you hate me or what, I don't know. You guys are just fucking weird and petty. But anyways, man, you're a fucking cuck because I fucked your bitch and you know that and you still took her back. And she literally couldn't even last 2 fucking days of being loyal with you. 2 fucking days, bro. What does that say about her and what does that say about you as a man and what the fuck you're willing to put up with, bro? You're a fucking pussy and you're not a real fucking man. Facts. Sorry, that just had to be said. Fuck that guy. But yeah, so going back and fucking her helped me feel better, for sure. And so the whole point of that long fucking story, I know that was so long. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me, but I had to lay out the whole fucking scenario so that you understood the context. And yeah, basically, after I did that and she left and I didn't talk to her anymore, like, while fucking her did make me feel better, I still didn't feel good. Like, every day I would just fucking go to work and just stare at the computer screen and just think about how fucked up that whole situation was. Just think about how she lied to me. Think about how that guy is a fucking creep and how much I'd like to fucking kill him. And but I would just have terrible, toxic thoughts all fucking day. And weed helped me get through it, and MMA helped me get through it a lot. And yeah, over time I got better, but really, if I had to give you guys any like advice, because the whole point of me laying this out was that moment was like probably one of the lowest moments in my life, like when the whole breakup thing happened. But I managed to like rebuild myself into a much better man than I was when I was with her. Like and that was in April. So like by the time it's now August, in that time span, I have probably became, I would say, at least a 15% better person, which is like a lot. That's a large percentage. And a lot of that is when you're in a shitty situation, you you have to like you can't sit there and dwell on it. You got to do shit to distract you. Like, you know, for example, MMA. Like, I wanted to train it the whole time I was with my ex, and she didn't want me to do it because she didn't want me to get more head trauma because I played football for so many years. I sort of understood that, so I respected it and didn't do it. But then when she broke up with me, I was like, fuck that, I'm doing MMA. I've wanted to do it, like, I think I'm going to be a beast at it, whatever. So I started trading MMA, and I got really pretty good pretty fast. And I started in April, and I don't do it as consistently as I should, but I'm in there about 2 or 3 times a week on average, 3 times lately more. And I would say that really took me out of my depression, because you got to go to the gym. Like, you have to work out. You can't fucking sit there and not do anything physically, or you will feel like shit. You have to go to the gym. You got to lift weights, you got to run, or you got to find another activity like cycling or like MMA or fucking skateboarding, anything, dude, longboarding, anything that's active. Like, just fucking get out of the house and do something. That's going to help you so much better. It'll help you feel so much better. And imagine, like, when you're like coming out of the gym after being in there for 2 months straight, right? You're going to look so much better than 2 months ago, right? Clean up that eating. Stop smoking cigarettes. Stop drinking so much during the week. You know, clean up your habits and you will feel better. And as a side effect of that, get over the breakup. If you elevate yourself, you're going to get over the breakup, the death, whatever the fuck happened bad in your life. If you elevate yourself and your mental well-being, that whole situation is going to work itself out. You know, like, you have no control. You have no control over what happened. So you might as well just use it as fuel to make you a better person. You know, seriously, like, I think the biggest lesson I took away from that whole shabacle, that whole fucking dumbass situation that took place. I just made up a word, shabacle. It sounds Yiddish. But what I learned from it is that you don't control everything. You don't control everything. Keep that in your head, because a lot of people go through life thinking that it's gonna go like linear, but life is not linear. There are ups and downs and lefts and rights and ins and outs. There are a lot of different dynamic changes about living this life, and that's part of the reason why life is special, right? If every day was a good day, life literally wouldn't be worth living. And I know people that are going through something bad right now, like, if you're probably telling me, fuck you, dude, like, you got a great fucking life. And I do have a great fucking life, you know? But I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful for that. And I think bad situations can be blessings. And like the whole saying, blessing in disguise, I love that saying because it's true. Like, everything bad that's happened to me has always turned into something better. Like this fucking shirt I'm wearing right now. My fucking coach, dude. Like, I'll explain that in another fucking video, maybe, or maybe I will this time. But my coach fucking lied to me, and my everyone at the university, or the entire recruiting class, and said that he had a 5-year plan, and this was my high school coach, and him and my family were like this, super tight. And he decided to lie and say that he had like a 5-year plan with the university, and he was going to build it up, and we were going to be the #1 team in Canada and all this shit. And he was there for 6 months, basically. Or like may have been 7. I'll give you 7, bro. But then he left for a fucking like GA position at UW. He left. That's how bad he wanted to get out of that school. He did not want to fucking coach there, but he roped my ass into going because I was a 3-star fucking recruit, and he knew if he got me, he can say, I got him. Like, he can use me for clout. I got the highest rated recruit the school's ever seen by far. And that's all because of me. And like, yeah, it was because of you, coach, but it was because of our relationship. It wasn't because of like how good of a recruiter you are. I don't fall for that bullshit. That's why I didn't fucking go to any other schools. I went to you because I trusted you, and I got burned. And so when he left, I was like, well, he's the only reason why I came to this fucking shitty place. And then so I felt like I was stuck, right? This was right before COVID, February 2020. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I want to leave. Like, I'm going to finish the semester school-wise, but then I'm gone. Like, I'm done. I'm done. So I ended up leaving the university. I finished the school, passed all my classes, but I decided I was done playing football. Like, I did not, because I went to a D2. Like, that's another thing. He fucked me over because I was at a D2, so if I transfer up, I have to sit for a year, and I can't get a scholarly. And I'm not paying for fucking school. That's for sure. So, yeah, I got, like, pretty fucked over. I definitely could have made it to the NFL, like, for sure. But that was a blessing in disguise because now I'm, like, right when that happened, I started working. And now, like, I have so much more knowledge about the business, about my place of business where I work, and hopefully the company that I will one day run. Like, I understand that a lot more now than I would have if I just went to school for 4 years and did a bunch of bullshit classes and fucking wasted my time playing patty cake on the fucking Burnaby Mountain. Like, there were some dudes at SFU that were really good fucking football players, but most of the team is just shit because they can't get good fucking players. So the playing experience was not fun. I turned into the biggest fuck around on the team because I was so fucking bored. So every day at practice, I would always crack jokes. I was always trying to make people laugh because it was just so fucking dreary and gray and no one fucking liked it. But yeah, like that, the point of me saying this is I turned that fucked up situation where I could have gone to the NFL, but I got fucked, so I didn't. I turned that into a situation where now I have enriched myself with knowledge, and I also have a lot of fucking money now that I otherwise wouldn't have if I stayed at SFU. Like, I just wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have half of this fucking shit. So I'm okay with it. Like, and sometimes, too, another big thing with bad shit is acceptance. Because you can't turn it into a better situation until you accept that it happened. Like, once you accept it, that's step 1. Accepting it. And then step 2 is acting. Doing something about it, Okay, this happened to me. Now I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, this happened to me. Now I'm going to go hit the fucking bag outside because when something pisses me off, you know what I do? I go out and I hit my bag for 10 minutes. My aqua bag, my punching bag, because that shit makes me feel better. And it's an endorphin release. It's exercise. It's good for you. And it feels good. So you should do that kind of shit, I think people these days, they love to feel fucking sorry about their situation. And they love to feel sorry for themselves. And I think that shit is so tired, especially when you're from America. Like, we are all so privileged. We live in one of the greatest countries on earth. And I notice I said one of because it is subjective. You can fucking pick out all these outliers. But it is undeniable we're at least one of the best places to live. There's a reason why And my current girlfriend, her home country is Kenya. And there's a reason why in her country everyone wants to come to fucking America. Like, coming to America is like winning the lottery. You know? Like, it's a great place to be where there's a lot more opportunity than most of the world. So we're all blessed in that way. And if you're under the age of 30, we, not to quote fucking Gary Vee, but you got fucking time. You got fucking time, man. You know, if you're under 30, you got fucking time. You're still young. You can build a business. But man, stop working for other people. Like, that's another big thing. Like, obviously you gotta be an employee of somebody, but I'm saying, like, start to think about how you can upgrade yourself while you're at work. How can I use the time that I'm getting paid to learn a skill that will make me more money in the future or something? You know, like, I work in an office. And I got a big ass fucking monitor. I can have like 4 or 5 screens of shit playing at once. I can have like a podcast and like I'm reading something. You know, I'm always doing something. And I choose to use work to enrich myself with knowledge. I listen to podcasts all day. And all podcasts are people talking and giving their opinion and perspective on different issues in the world. And I think if you do that a lot, A, you learn a lot of shit, like you take in knowledge, but B, you become more well-rounded of a person. If you hear other people talk, then you will become a better talker yourself, you know? I feel like that's kind of the reason why I'm able to just kind of sit. I mean, I'm not a fantastic fucking storyteller or anything by that stretch. I just took 25 minutes to tell a story about my ex, so it probably needed all 25 minutes, but still, I'm not a professional by any means, but I'm capable of sitting down and talking to the camera by myself, which I think it takes a lot of, like, content consumption to be able to get this done on, like, my 3rd episode. You know, like, I've seen a lot of podcasts done, so I can kind of just copy and paste the formula and just insert my own dialogue. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Copy and paste the formula, insert your own dialogue. That's how you start a podcast. There you go. But, yeah, I don't know, guys. Just really, when you're in a bad situation, if any of you guys are currently in a bad situation, just please, like, go do something. Like, sign up for a class. Do MMA. If none of you guys have tried, if you guys are afraid of getting hit in the head, A, I get it. B, you're kind of a pussy. But try jujitsu. Like, you don't have to hit anybody in jujitsu, and that shit is so good for you. Like, you use so many little muscles that you just can't train, like, by lifting weights or doing anything else. Like, grappling, doing, like, rolling with somebody is anaerobic, like, the best anaerobic cardio you can fucking get. Like, you're done by the end of it. Like, my gi, every time I do a jiu-jitsu class, my gi is just fucking soaked. Because I go hard, too. Because the great thing about jiu-jitsu is when you roll, you can go fucking hard. I mean, you're not trying to hurt anybody, but, you know, you can, like, try hard. Because you're not, when you're sparring, for example, like, if you're doing a kickboxing, Muay Thai class or whatever, you're going to spar. And you can't go as hard as you can in sparring, you know, or otherwise it's a full-on fight, and we're not doing that. We're just sparring, you know. So you can't really try your hardest, but in jiu-jitsu you can try your hardest. So that's I think you can get really good at jiu-jitsu really fast if you show up, like, every day. And a lot of it too is, like, watching fights. So, and that's another thing. Find something to watch that brings you joy, so that when you're not at your class and you're not at work, you have something that's uplifting you, you know, taking you away from that dark place that your mind keeps going. You know, that's what you need. You need to take yourself away from that. And you have control of that. That's the thing you can control, is your fucking emotions and your perspective on yourself, you know? I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of ranting, but rambling. But I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm saying. I'm trying to give you guys some sage advice from someone who just got in the worst situation of my life. And now I'm in the best situation of my life. I love my life. My girlfriend, Barbara, is the greatest. Oh, I just name dropped. Okay, if you guys find her, whatever. I guess I don't care. She already has fucking 12,000 followers on Instagram, so I guess she won't care if a couple more follow her. But she's an amazing fucking woman, and I am so blessed that I found her. And I'm blessed for Facebook dating, man, because that shit actually gives you matches. That's another pro tip for all you single dudes out there. Go on Facebook dating. Don't fuck around with any of the other ones. Fuck Tinder. I never got a match on Tinder that was worth a shit. I get matches, but they're all trash. Like, they're either fake accounts or their conversation is just lacking. Or most of the people don't even respond, too. Like, the girls just aren't on Tinder or whatever. So, fuck Tinder. Facebook dating is the shit. Use Facebook dating. Cheers. Okay. Well, that topic's covered. So, that was a great shout out to Lingy. I know you're about to be watching this, Lingy. So, shout out to you. Great topic suggestion. What else is there? Well, we can talk about, let's talk Blackjack, dude. That was another one. So, I've been making a lot of money lately, y'all. A lot of money. And, I mean, I'm not a fucking millionaire, but for a 21-year-old, I'm making a lot of money. You know, low-key, I'm making more money than my job doing my gambling side hustle. And so, somebody said, hey, Bailey, talk about Blackjack Strategy. Okay, well, there's a chart online. I suggest any of you guys that play Blackjack, go and study that chart. And if you want to get good at the game, that's step one. Step one is memorizing perfect strategy, okay, and playing it perfectly every time. No matter what. No matter what your gut is telling you at the table, do what the chart says, because math doesn't fucking lie. And the chart was made through millions of computer simulations. Basically, computers played blackjack, and that's what they came up with as the best strategy. So listen to the fucking computers. They're not wrong. Because a lot of people have this dumb fucking shit. This is the most annoying type of person to... I mean, whatever. And you guys do you with your money, right? But this is what the fuck I'll say. Don't be that guy that says, I don't hit on 16. If you are that guy, you're fucking dumb. Or... you know, I don't hit 12s against the... No, hit the fucking 12 against the 3. I don't give a shit how fucking weird it feels. Do it, because it's the right fucking move. And if you bust, you bust. It doesn't matter. Over the long term, over the long run, you will be ahead. And if you do... So, if you do basic strategy perfectly, I'm pretty sure that gives you, like... You're at, like, 49.5%. So you have a 0.5% disadvantage against the casino. Not bad. What puts you over the edge from there is you can do bet variations, but even those, it's like if you don't hit it perfectly right every time, that's a way to lose more money. Martingale System is bullshit. Don't do that. Martingale System is where I'm pretty sure, I could be butchering this, because I don't fucking play like an idiot. But the Martingale System is you have your initial bet out there, okay, whatever that is, and if you win, I think you keep the same money down. But if you lose, then you put twice the money in your bet. So, like, if you have a $5 bet in the pot, okay, lose that. Next hand's $10. Lose that. Next hand's $20. You get my point. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the theory is eventually you'll get back to even, right? But the problem with that is they're table maximums. So if you go on the worst losing streak of mankind, which is mathematically possible, and you get all the way up to the table maximum, you can't get your money back because you passed the maximum. So that's dumb. Don't do the Martingale shit. That's a stupid fucking thing. Also, don't be that guy. Just don't ever fucking be that guy that's like sitting there at the table. And it's fine if you're just casually doing this, but don't be that guy that's sitting there at the table and like gets angry if somebody like takes your card. Okay, because I've seen that so much. Like I'm playing and like I'll hit on a 16 and I'll get like a 3 or a 4 or something, and like the person next to me has like a soft 17 and they needed that 3, and they're like, fuck, you took my 3, what the fuck, dude, why'd you hit a 16? Well, and I'm like, because I'm playing correctly. Okay, if you knew how to play this game, you would know that what I do doesn't really affect what the fuck is going on in your hand. Like, mathematically, the cards are shuffled. Everything's different every time. There's so many variables. You can't fucking sit there and say, I took your card. That's not how this works. Math says that's not how this works. Okay? So, don't be that guy at the table. Don't backtrack too. Don't say, oh, well, if I would have hit, then I would have had this, and I would have beat the dealer. If it's not a hit situation according to the book, don't hit. Now, here's where we get to the interesting part. Unless you're counting cards. Okay. Now, if you're counting cards, the basic idea of counting cards, like the dumbest way to explain it would probably be you're trying to keep track of like how many face cards are left in the deck. Not like the exact number, but you want to know, okay, are there a lot of face cards left? Are there a lot of little cards coming out? Like, you know, you want to know which one. And if the count is high, which means a lot of little cards have been dealt. So 2 through 4 or 2 through 6 is +1. Okay? So every time you see 2 through 6 get dealt on the table, you go +1, +2, +3. Okay? That's your running count. Then you go 7, 8, 9. Those are 0. Okay, those are 0. So basically ignore those when they come out of the shoe. They don't matter in terms of our count. Then you got ace, 10, jack, king, queen, right? Those are all -1, because when they get dealt, now it's out of the shoe. You know it's not in the deck anymore. So that's -1 face card, basically, is the way you're thinking about it. Okay? So once you do that, if you master counting, you can make some pretty good money, but there is variance, right? There is mathematical variance when playing. There is when you play perfect strategy, counting everything, you get a 5% edge over the house. 5%. Okay? That's not a lot. That means 45% of the time you're losing. So basically, like, you can have a night where if you count perfectly, you can be down 1,000. You can be down 2,000. I mean, you can go on bad runs. It happens. Hasn't happened to me, but I've heard stories. I've heard horror stories. But then I've also heard, it goes the other way too, where you can have all your 55% on this night and you just run it up 100 bands or whatever in a night, because the variance, that's what you call it, variance, because, it varies your outcome. So the variance is in your favor. That's when you start to make profits as a card counter. is when the variance is in your favor, you really rake it in. And so, yeah, you want to learn how to count cards, and you really got to go to Vegas to count good. You can count. Another thing about the count is single deck is the easiest deck, to count, obviously, because there's only one deck. But if you get more decks, then you gotta like divide your count by 2. And there's no like remainders or whatever. So if it doesn't exactly divide by 2, just do it like to the closest number. So I play like double deck at the El Cortez in Vegas, and you can count there, because they got the double deck face up, single deck face up, and every time I'm there, I walk away at least like $400 or $500 up every time I'm there, and I haven't been tipped off because I'm not super obvious about it. I'm not fucking sitting there talking the count out loud or whatever. I'm being pretty inconspicuous about it. So you can make really good money doing that, for sure. And make sure don't flat bet. Like, if you're playing blackjack to learn, don't do the Martingale system, but don't flat bet every time. Flat bet most hands, but vary your bets here and there. Okay, that's how you can make profits. That's how you can have any chance of making profit. If you're not counting, you gotta vary your bets. But just be careful and be responsible. Don't be one of these idiots that I was with some fucking Asian lady yesterday at the casino that said she lost $17.5 thousand. $17,500 in a day just donated to the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. Jeez, like, couldn't be me, man. Couldn't be me. Don't be that person. And yeah, I don't know. I like blackjack a lot. I might have a problem. I love blackjack and sports betting. Sports betting strategy. I'll talk about that for a minute. I mean, that's pretty fucking simple. It's find a team you really find a couple teams, okay, you really are interested in, and really get to know them. Get to know their tendencies, everything, like their chemistry, and then when you have all that information gathered, then you can start making plays, okay? Like, for example, the Mariners are playing the Rangers on Friday. I'm going Mariners, heavy Mariners, money line. Like, heavy, because I know the Mariners have beat the fucking Rangers so many times this year. Like, that's just how it is with the Rangers every time we play those motherfuckers. So, I'm hammering money line. And the Mariners are my team. Like, I'm a Mariners fan, so I know they're going to fucking win. But with the Yankees, I knew they were going to take 2, but I didn't know which 2. So I bet the first one I lost, but I didn't go heavy. And I bet the second one heavier, and won that because I knew it was the same pitching matchup. It was our ace Castillo, who we just traded for. He's an amazing pitcher, going up against their pitcher who gives up a lot of hits to us. That's an easy play. And another thing I do with sports betting is I will look up the free pick videos on YouTube, and I will watch as many of them as I can on the given game I want to bet on, or the given games that I want to bet on. I'll soak up all that content for about an hour and a half of my day. That may or may not be half my YouTube consumption at work, whatever. And yeah, it is in the background though. I'm still working. Don't worry. But you soak up all the information from these videos, and then from that you distill from all the information that's been thrown at you, distill it down to like 2 or 3 repetitive things that you've heard throughout all the videos, and from those pick which ones you want to bet on. Okay, only parlay things if you're like this is a lock of locks, because parlays are, a lot of people say that it's like the donating to the casino, like you're helping the casino employees the casino pay their employees' salary. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, because a lot of people just will they'll go to the casino and they'll do these little like $5, $10 parlays, and occasionally I'll do it, but like this is all they do. $5, $10 parlays, fucking 10 teams, 13 teams, 14 teams, whatever. Eventually it'll hit, but over time, like it's so not sustainable. Like you're losing all that bankroll, and then when you do win, you're just getting half that money fucking back, and then you're gonna do more like little ones again? Like I don't get that personally. Parlays have the worst odds. I occasionally will do them, and the most legs like I usually will do is 3, but even then that's ridiculous. That's so unlikely to happen, but it could, it could. Um, but yeah, parlays, just try to stay away from those, really. Just do straight bets, man. Do straight bets. Oh, and build up your bankroll before you start betting, and have a unit. Like, a unit is like 1%, 1 to 5% of your total bankroll. So, sorry, I saw my dog doing something weird. So, like, for example, if your bankroll is 10 grand, then your unit should be like $100. Like $100 or $50 or whatever, like somewhere in there. And that's usually the standard right there, is to $100 a unit. And if you do that and aim for like a 62% profit, which is really fucking good, but that's what you're aiming for. If you get anywhere from 55 to 60, you're going to be making money. So really, with sports betting, it's about, like I said, picking a few teams in whatever sport that you're betting on to just really get to know well and get to know them really well. Betting on those teams or fading those teams when the time is right. Okay. And once you do that, I mean, you're kind of set up for success. You can start raking it in, I pulled out $1,500 out of my bank account to go to Vegas with me. I came back with that 1,500, or I came back with it only being $900 because I did some dumb shit, in Vegas. I was just being dumb in Vegas. I wasn't being a smart gambler. Don't do what I did. Anyways, I came back with 900, and I started sports betting here, being a sharp gambler that I normally am. Ended up turning that $900 into like what's now $7,000, like 6.5, $7,000, and that's just off this 1 month of sports betting. And before that, I made profit too. But in this 1 month, I'm up like $6,000 off of sports betting, which is incredible. It's literally like a fucking amazing side hustle. And I'm hoping to keep this shit going for sure. But yeah, I mean that's it. Oh, and really, if I had any other gambling advice, don't fucking do the slots, okay? Stop with that bullshit, dude. Hitting a button over and over is so boring and so dumb. Stop that shit. And don't fucking play roulette, okay? Craps is alright. The odds are actually okay at craps. So if you have fun doing craps, I say play craps, whatever. But roulette is fucking stupid, okay? It's so dumb. The 2 greens make it less than 50-50. Why did you ever fucking accept 2 to 1? 1 to 1 money, okay, 1 to 1 on a less than 50% bet. Like, that's fucking bullshit. Like, it's such fucking bullshit. Fuck that, dude. Fuck roulette. Don't do that shit. Okay, and most of the other table games are kind of crap too, but there's like poker can be okay, the 3-card poker thing. But even that, like, really just do fucking blackjack, okay? Like, just keep it real. Man, okay, that's enough fucking gambling talk for me. I'm taxed out. I think another topic that somebody texted me about was World War III. They're like, do you think World War III is going to start? I think on that note, we need to take a dab. But if I could give a brief answer to that question right before I take this dab, honestly, I don't fucking know. Like, I feel like I don't know who really runs the world, you know? I feel like the politicians are definitely not the ones who are running, like, really running the world. Like, I feel like maybe they're like down here, like, doing some stuff, but I really feel like there is, like, people above them that, like, we wouldn't even think about, that, like, they're either in the intelligence community or whatever, like, whatever, I don't even know, but there's, like, a group of people for sure that are in charge of a lot of shit, and I don't know what their agenda is. Like, I'm guessing it's control. I'm guessing it's like population control. They want to control us, but I'm wondering, like, would they allow a World War III? Like, would that make it easier for them to control the masses if there was the threat of nuclear war? I don't know. Like, that's the kind of shit that gets my head thinking. And all this aid that we're sending to Ukraine is it's so weird how, like, everyone in America is, like, not even questioning it. Like, all the liberals especially. It's so strange. Like, why aren't we questioning that we've literally sent? I want to say that we've sent like $500 billion. That might be an exaggeration, but that also might not be. I swear it was somewhere in that range. If it's even 100 billion, that is so much fucking money. Okay, so much money. $100 billion. Like, I'm pretty sure we've sent more than that too, by the way. We're sending that, okay, while the EU is not sending shit in comparison. Like, they're sending $100 million packages while we're fucking over here contributing hundreds of billions. Like, so the US is just sending all this money, and I can't help but think there's people skimming off the top. I mean, do you guys really fucking believe that our government and the Ukraine's government are being perfectly kosher and that all this money is just being tossed around and it's totally secure? Like, no one has their hand in it grabbing $10 here, $10 there. Like, come on, bro. You guys gotta think, like, more critically when you see shit like that. Like, you know that that's not normal. Like, we're sending so much, and I get it, okay? It's a proxy war between us and Russia. I get it. But fuck, dude, do we have to send this much money? I can't help but think Zelensky is corrupt. One of my friends denied this the other day. Fucking Hartman, the one who was on the podcast. He denied this the other day, but Zelensky is rich. He is a rich motherfucker, okay, in a poor fucking country, and he leads the country as a rich man in a poor fucking country. That reeks of corruption in and of itself. How the fuck are you rich, dude? In a place, Ukraine is basically a third world country. Those people, the quality of life there is not very fucking good. You know, it wasn't before the war. It certainly isn't now. You know, that people have to... listen, I feel bad for Ukrainians. If you're actually there in Ukraine and you're getting bombed, like, that shit would be fucking terrifying. I don't want to... That would not be a reality I would want to exist in either. And I would probably be wanting all the help and aid we could possibly get, too. Like, I understand it from their point of view, but from my point of view as an American taxpayer who's concerned about corruption, none of it looks good. We're sending all this fucking money over there, and no one's questioning how it's being spent or allocated. Like, and I bet you there is a fucking, like, because government loves to do this. They'll label something as, like, it'll be like administrative cost or something like that. That'll be how it's broken out when they show what they paid for. And it'll be for, like, $20 million or whatever. What the fuck is even that? Okay? That's some fucking politician or many politicians sticking their fucking hand in, grabbing their million, and just saying, okay. I mean, it's so fucking corrupt, this whole fucking thing. And so World War III, I don't know. I don't know what the motivation would be for them to do it, whoever's in charge. I don't think fucking Putin I think if Putin gave the order right now to launch the nukes, I've heard a lot of people say this. Like, I've heard my dad say this, and it makes sense to me. I don't think they'd do it, dude. Like, I don't think the Russians would, like, the actual people that have to turn the keys to launch the nukes, I don't think they would agree to actually do it because they know that it's suicide. Like, it's literally world suicide. If they launch a nuke, everyone's dead. Everyone on Earth will be dead, either immediately or within a year. Everyone will die. And if you don't die, you're going to have a terrible quality of fucking life, that's for sure. And you're going to live in a hellscape for a long time. If we set off nukes. And they all fucking know that. So I don't think they're going to do it, you know? You would hope. You would fucking hope. But I just, because think about all this rich people, everything everyone's built would just be gone. And I don't think whoever's in charge, that group of people I was mentioning earlier that I don't know who they are, but there's definitely a group of people that's running the fucking shit. You can call me Illuminati or whatever. I don't like that term. It makes you sound like you're a tinfoil hat person. But sure, like a group like that. You know, somebody like that, I don't know what they would benefit from having the world burnt to a crisp from radiation. I don't. So I don't think World War III is going to escalate to anything major because I think we do have hands in like controlling the situation that don't want that to happen. But the worst thing is their agenda might be even like worse long term. And I don't think you can get any worse than nuclear war, but I mean in terms of like humanity's future, like they have this probably weird, you know, agenda that they want to do with us. Like they probably want to, you know, use us as, well, they want us here because they want us to consume shit, to buy shit, or they won't be rich, you know. So that's very important. You need people. So we don't want all the people to die. No successful society ever has had no people. You need fucking people, you know. That's essential. So you think about that. We got that going for us, but I think they want the people to be used in some way. Like the human capital is so valuable, but it can be used for bad shit. Like human capital can be used against its own will. And I think eventually, like slowly but surely, we're going to be like even more slave-like. Like we're already all kind of like corporate slaves in a way. Like, I mean, I wouldn't quite classify myself there, but like a lot of people in America are like corporate slaves. They have no choice but to work for a corporation, a big corporation. They have no marketable skills but that. And that's either due to their circumstances or their education or what. But for whatever reason, they don't have a trade or a skill that they can go, you know, that they can go get, you know, fucking $30 an hour for. They have to get $20 an hour. And so because of that, they have to keep working. Like, but they also have to keep buying shit because they're alive. So it's just like having a person is just like having a potential profit walking around. Like, but if that person like got super rich, like sure they'll be buying more shit, but like now they're coming for your throne. Like whoever's running it, like they don't want to be threatened. That's not what they fucking want, you know? And so they'll do anything to like tamp people down, I think. Not like whoever's in charge. Not all billion. I'm not saying like every rich person, but like whoever's in charge they don't want their power to be seized. I mean, power is what men and humans are obsessed with. Like, why do you think as kids we are like obsessed with like superheroes and Star Wars and shit? It's because and like Harry Potter, it's because they have special powers. They have power over normal people, and that is appealing to humans. They like the idea of power. So, like, giving it up would be a scary thought if you had it. You know, like an extremely scary thought. Like, I feel like some of these people have trouble sleeping at night because they know what they have and they know how important it is. And so almost having that much pressure, it's almost like, is that really a blessing? to be in charge. Like, that's the thing, because now you're in charge, but now you got all this shit to worry about. So it's like, I almost would rather not be one of those people running the world. I'd rather be like me, you know. I'm okay with not controlling everything, I guess, but I don't know. I know this is kind of long-winded, but I don't know, man. World War III. Oh, China and Taiwan too. That's another thing. China and Taiwan, like, I don't know, man. Part of me is like, is Taiwan really worth like going to war over? You know, because China is definitely gonna make a move eventually. Like, they're not just gonna sit idly by with that whole Taiwan situation. They're definitely gonna make a move. That's why they're fucking posturing up in the South China Sea with all these islands that they're building and shit. They're trying to like gain complete control over Southeast Asia because they know how much money there is to be made from the fishing industry, etc. So they want complete control over it. And the semiconductor, obviously Taiwan. And so my whole thing is like, well, fuck Taiwan. Like, I get you want to be independent, and you probably should be, and fuck China for claiming you, you know. But like, you are not. Fuck you, if you want us to go to war for you. You're not fucking worth it. We can make semiconductors here. We need to domesticate manufacturing. We do. Or like my dad said, bring manufacturing to like Central America. So you can still have cheap labor, but you can pay them more than they're getting paid now on whatever shit job they're working. Pay them more, which is still cheaper than hiring an American worker. They have a higher quality of life because cost of living is relative to where you live, obviously, and it's really cheap in a place where you don't make a lot of money. So if you make more money now, then you can afford more. You become richer. Then, so like, for example, like an American that's making $35,000 a year is not very rich at all. Not rich at all. If you made $35,000 a year in Mexico, you're cool. Like, you're absolutely cooling. Like, you got money. If you make $35,000 a year in El Salvador, you are fucking flush, okay? Like, you are flush with cash. You're cool. You're not worried about any rent, expenses, bills, anything. You can afford a house. Like, food's never a problem. So the cost of living is relative. So if you pay these workers, an American factory worker makes like anywhere from 40 to 60 grand a year, right? If you pay these people like 20 grand a year to make semiconductors, that's cheaper than an American worker. It solves your domestication problem because now they're on North American continent. Well, Central America, but that's still part of North America, I believe. And you domesticate the manufacturing not to America, but to this continent, and you solve so many problems. Like, you're enriching people that are poor as fuck and have no opportunity. You give them another opportunity. And you're helping the country of El Salvador get richer and more prosperous. You know, the more industry you have, the better off you are as a country. And so in Mexico or all these countries, you know, helping them all out. So I think we should do that. And once we do that, then fucking let China take Taiwan. Fuck it, dude. Have Taiwan. I don't give a shit. I don't ever want to visit. And that might sound selfish of me, but I'm just being honest. Like, bloodshed is such a big fucking deal. And it seems like people, these old fuckers that, like, really don't fucking seem to notice, like, how big of a deal it is to actually fucking kill a lot, like, people. Thousands of fucking people. Because they're like, well, we need to go in there and just shoot all the Russians and just fuck them up. And I'm like, no, that's not what you want. Warfare is fucking ugly. Have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan? Fuck, I know we're more advanced now, but still people have to fucking die, and people lose their sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, like cousins, uncles, wives, aunts, uncles. I don't think I said uncles twice. Maybe I did. Anyways, you get my point. War is fucking ugly, so we should stop supporting it. Stop giving them more weapons to kill themselves with. Stop doing that. Ukraine, defend your fucking self. We've sent you $100 billion worth of shit. If you can't figure it out with that, then maybe you deserve to get fucking taken over. For real. Okay, because we've given you so much fucking money. Figure it out. That's my whole thing. Figure it out. And Taiwan, figure it out. We need to stop being the world fucking police. Team America World Police. Stop that shit. We're not fucking Team America World Police. Okay? It's not fucking good for the world to have one country run everything. And that's what we all want. America wants that. China wants that more so than we do. Russia wants that more so than we do. They're trying to actively expand their empire right now. So it seems like everyone wants that. And it's not a positive world when you have one regime running everything. It's terrible. You want people to feel like they have a say. You want people to feel like their lives have meaning. You don't want a population full of people that are unhappy and feel like their lives have no fucking meaning, you know? And that's what it, when you live in a society where you don't have a say, that's you feel like you're in jail. Like, in America, we have a say, and I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty glad that we can say, fuck Joe Biden, you know, and not have to worry about shit. But if China fucking ran the world, I couldn't say whatever the hell I wanted without fear of severe retribution. Like, I would hate a world where China was in charge, or Russia. Those regimes are so terribly ran and so corrupt. Ours is corrupt too, as I pointed out, but those regimes in specific are awful, and I don't want to live in a world where that's that. And I'm sure they don't want to live in a world where fucking America is all over the damn place. You know what I mean? So I think, I don't know, I think this whole expansion idea is a little tired, and it doesn't benefit anyone in the scenario. You know, it doesn't. It's better to have more local leadership around societies, for sure. Because then like your leadership actually does what the people want. You know, you're not like in a dictatorship, which China is basically a fucking dictatorship, and so is Russia. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's that whole idea is so outdated. I don't know why they think it's going to be successful long term. Like Xi Jinping. Why do you think this whole fucking idea is going to work, dude? Of having an authoritarian regime. Like, you want a population that is happy and enjoys living. You don't want a fucking population that despises their life every day and smokes a billion fucking cigarettes to deal with it and makes enough money to just eat and smoke their cigarettes. That's it. Like, does that sound like happy and fun in like a society where you can't fucking own anything? Like, that doesn't sound like my kind of, utopia. Those fucking people are just, that government, Chinese people are great. The government is fucking awful. Fuck that government. Fuck that regime. Yeah, I don't know. And also, our fucking president isn't very good either. We have a fucking dopey old piece of shit in the White House that has no compassion for people and is literally on his fucking deathbed. Like, that guy's, and he's a fucking corrupt piece of shit as well. Sold oil to this company called Sinopec from China. Turns out Hunter Biden was a co-founder of that fucking company. So he sold oil to Hunter Biden's company, sold American oil reserves when gas prices were high to Sinopec so that Hunter Biden could profit off of government money. And that's not the fucking first time that Sleepy Joe has fucking helped Hunter Biden make some cash off the U.S. government. Like, that whole situation is dirty as fuck, and that needs to be investigated. Like, I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of all of our politicians just being terrible, and like, I don't want to vote for any of these motherfuckers. I don't care about fucking any of them. Like, sure, okay, DeSantis is better than fucking Biden, okay, sure, but so is literally anybody, okay. That is not a very fucking high bar to go over, you know? It just irritates me. And when people actually fall for politicians, that's what another thing that irritates me. Like, AOC is, look at what she's doing. She's such a good person. Look at what she's standing up for, the environment. Like, dude, that shit is fucking so dumb, dude. You really believe that this woman cares? Like, and look, she might care. She might care a little bit. She might. But you really think she cares as much as you about these things? Like, she's a fucking politician. She clearly wants to be fucking seen and reelected. That's all they care about. When they get in it, you know, sure, she probably had great intentions when she got into office. But now you're in, ho. You can't get out. When you're in, you can't get out. Like, you're fucking in the swamp now. You're corrupted. You can't help but try to be out for clout, no matter what you do. You can't help it. You have no choice. Like, because you're a politician now, and the whole thing of being a politician in America is getting corporate lobbyists and winning the popularity contest. That's it. It's the corporate lobbyist part needs to go away. And that's something she probably fucking talks about. But she probably does have a couple fucking corporate lobbyists and sponsors that she doesn't tell you about. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. But yeah, I really hate that whole. I'm gonna call it this because politicians are basically not like real people. So you're like anthropomorphizing a politician. You're like giving them real human emotions. Like, no, those people are fucking here. Here's regular people, and then here are politicians like way over here. Like, they aren't regular fucking people. Okay, they aren't. They're, I don't know, but like, my buddy wants to run for office really bad, and I'm like, cool, bro. Cool. I hope you know, the local shit, you know, that's fine. That's before you start to really get in the swamp. But once you get in the swamp, I'm telling you, there's so much old money and dirt on everyone in Washington. You are going to be, it's going to be like a fucking fly, dude, flying into a spider's web. The second you hit it, dude, you're like, you might as well just not resist it, because if you resist it, you're going to get more and more entangled in the web until you just can't move anymore. And you can't, you have to, you like Pelosi or Maxine Waters or fucking Mitch McConnell or any of these old fuckers that are just in there. Like, you know, those people cannot live peacefully. Like, they probably live really fucked up lives mentally. They are not free people. They aren't. And they probably people have dirt on them everywhere. Like, so they gotta be quiet on certain shit. They gotta help other people that they don't want to because they learned something about them. Like, the whole thing about being a politician is just like a different class of human. It just is. And I have no respect for them. Frankly, I have very little respect for most politicians, especially in America, the ones that I'm familiar with. I have never met a politician and I've never been like, wow, I really feel confident in our leadership right now. Like, fucking Trump was a train wreck. That fucking guy, while he was hilarious, God, he was fucking funny. Great crowd work, Donald Trump. I can't wait to watch you campaign, by the way. That's gonna be fucking funny. But not really not that good of a president. I mean, let's just be honest. Not that good of a fucking president, okay? Like, he wasn't very presidential, to say the least. But yeah. I'm a firm believer in the fact that the best person to lead our country will never be in charge of our country, because nobody that's actually a decent person wants to run for office. Like, not nobody, but very, 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 very few people that want to run for office are decent people. And most people that I know of that are like, okay, I wouldn't mind if you ran our country. They aren't fucking running. They don't want to run because they know what it is and they don't want any part of it. And I don't blame them. I don't want any part of it either. That's why I have no political aspirations. That's why I have a fucking podcast. If I had political aspirations, I would not be on this bitch saying whatever the fuck I say, because I say shit all the time that would probably get me canceled. Like, and I don't care. Fucking clip finders, find anything you want, clip it, fucking replay it. I don't care. Like, I say what I say. I'm unapologetic about it, and I don't want to have to be a fucking politician who watches what the fuck they say. Like, fuck that, dude. That's not me. Anyone who knows me knows that's not me. So, and I've never, ever, like, really thought that our country was gonna progress much, you know? Like, that whole thought of, like, our country, like, getting really, really good kind of died when I was, like, 10. Because I realized how much gridlock there is in our system and how much, like, it's designed for gridlock. You know, our whole government is checks and balances, which makes a lot of sense to me. It's that way so that when one party's in charge, they don't just fucking run it, do everything their way, you know? It makes it so that it's a little, like, it's more balanced, but because it's balanced, nothing gets done. We can't pass any good bills because we're just fucking bump, 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 bump. I don't like that because of this. Well, I don't like that because of that. It's just back and forth, back and forth. It just creates this fucking gridlock and nothing ever gets done. It's just inefficiency, you know? And that's, sometimes I wonder if, like, we could learn a thing or two from Parliament, because they have more parties, and that makes a lot more sense to me. You know, and we have more parties here, but they don't, you know, it's not the same thing. We don't have, like, we don't have a fucking room with, like, 5 different parties talking to each other, you know? We have a room with 2 parties talking to each other, and it's just a terrible system if you're trying to actually change your society. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I wonder sometimes if we're going to have a complete overhaul one day of our political system, because if we want any, like, major changes, it seems like that's what's going to have to happen, you know? Yeah, and I think on that note, I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to let you guys go. It's been a blast. This has been Slow Burn episode 3. First slow episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, please, and share it with your friends, you know? I'm just trying to get this shit off the ground. I appreciate you guys.